Hey, it's Andrew Boucher with Boucher Valley Farms, and today we're going to go through our different workload we got on the plate today. We're going to be building our trellis system for the different tomato plants and tying those up. We're going to go through weed eating through the different areas and how best to use that waste material to bring nutrients back, and setting up our new watering system so that we can eventually lead to automation and relieving the workload from yourself. So now that I've finished weed whacking down here, we basically use it as a mower in this back area because we have living walkways. That brings a lot more nutrients back into the soil, so to make it watering more effective. A lot of other farms ideally would want to have tarps down and then mulch, but that was a cost point I didn't want to get into this season. I wanted to go after the bigger issues, which was watering and seeing how effective we could be with it just being my wife and I the ones working out here. So over the next coming seasons, we're going to hopefully be able to move away from the living walkway system, although it does work. It just requires more maintenance from yourself, mowing with a weed whacker, or they do have those really small form electric mowers that would work for that as well. But now that this is all ready to go, we should hopefully be good for the next couple weeks, depending on the rain here in Missouri. This is going to be the future of the watering system that we're going to be using for the later part of this season and moving forward, which is just some PVC pipe that goes down and has these stands up here for the sprinkler systems that go down, I think they're about every 8 rows. I'll have this mirrored on the other side, so we'll make sure that everything is completely covered at all times. So we have these sprinklers put at different intervals with gates between them so we can control where the water flow is going. And eventually we're going to have an automated system in here that will be connected, a DIY Arduino board one, so we can have it going through at different intervals so we're not losing any water usage and we're moving forward and keeping it all good and strong throughout the season. Some of the other options that people use right now as our backup, we have the tripod sprinklers that you can get at Tractor Supply, Menards, or any of the big box stores that we can move around and make sure that everything stays watered while you're trying to put in your new systems. There's also drip line, which if you have the manpower to lay out and poke your holes at each individual plant, can be some of your most effective watering systems, but they are much more time consuming and can be more costly at times. Just kind of depends on your operation. There's also soaker hose, which does require higher PSI. It's what we had last year, but it was ineffective due to our PSI limitation. So at the moment, we're using the tripods and building up to this new sprinkler system, which should be operating later on this season. So here we have our trellis system, which are these nice long 10-foot poles that go in that have a leading pipe that I drove into the ground with a sledgehammer and placed this on top of it. There's pre-drilled holes put through there to run this string through that's pretty much cut-proof, nearly indestructible cord. You could use anything you wanted. A lot of people use other systems. Our initial idea was T-post with a rebar, but because of how tough the summer's been with not enough rain, it was easier to get the smaller pipes driven in than T-post. So once we have your top of your system put in, you want to have it wrap around your tomato plant so that you're not really pulling on any of the strength of the stalk of it, and you're going to keep wrapping it around your main stalk so that you're bringing that whole thing up, and as it grows, it'll creep up. The sooner you get them on your plants, the easier, the less you're going to be worrying about what you have growing right now. As you can see, our tomatoes are getting pretty strong, and then we'll want to have it tied up over top like that, and that will keep it sitting strong, growing where we want it to, and not growing out like the bush that the tomato wants to naturally be.